Jai Gurudev, and thank you for joining us today. Today, again, we have with us an art of living expert and an officer of the Vedic Sansthan to discuss the 12th chapter from the Sunder Kanda. It's about seeing Sita. Hanuman finally finds Sita sorrowful under a tree. So let's begin. So, what is the essence of the chapter where Hanuman finally finds Sita Devi under the tree? Jagadev, yes, thank you for joining us. Yes, this moment is heart wrenching. Hanuman, after facing many obstacles, sees Sita Mata beneath a Simsapa tree, frail and immersed in deep sorrow, yet holding steadfast to Dharma. It represents the soul or Sita caught in suffering, while divine energy or Hanumana arrives to offer hope. This chapter invites us to reflect on inner strength amidst despair and how divine intervention, often born of sincere sadhana, comes silently but surely after practicing Sudarshan Kriya, helps purify such sorrow from within, and Anjaneya Homam invokes Hanuman's subtle strength to bring emotional clarity and resilience. But how does Hanuman's discovery of Sita symbolically mirror our spiritual journey according to His Holiness Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankar Jesus' wisdom? See, Sita, the Jivatma or the individual soul, Sita sits trapped in the garden of delusion. It's called Ashoka Vatika under the burden of despair. Hanumana is the awakened consciousness, a seeker transformed through Shraddha or faith, and sadhana, as Gurudev teaches. Faith is realizing that you always get what you need. Hanuman's journey reflects how through tapas, devotion, and inner silence, divine awareness eventually locates the sorrowful self and offers reassurance. Chanting the Hanuman Chalisa regularly activates this inner seeker, while Gayatri Japa purifies the intellect for divine insight. Why is the Sita state under the tree so important spiritually and emotionally? Her condition mirrors every soul caught in the grips of separation, fear, and longing. Sita is dignified yet deeply distressed, just like us when estranged from our higher self. According to Gurudev, pain is inevitable but suffering is optional. Sita endures pain but not hopelessness. Her unwavering faith in Rama sustains her. Sehat Samadhi meditation helps release mental anguish like hers gently without analysis. When paired with daily chanting of Hanuman Chalisa, the vibrational energy cuts through inner darkness just as Hanuman's presence does for Sita. What are the key verses in this chapter that should be meditated upon and why? Two significant verses include the Santavanartham Uvaka Vakyam, Madhuram Dharma Samhitam, or Hanuman spoke sweet words filled with dharma to console Sita, and Drishtate Rama Sandesham Surnu Devi Sanatanam. You are found here the eternal message from Rama. These lines embody divine reassurance, reflecting upon them daily with the Padma Sadhana brings balance and courage. They serve as mantras of hope. Chanting them during Anjaneya Homam sanctifies the atmosphere, releasing fear and re-establishing faith. Now, how do Hanuman's behavior and words help alleviate Sita's suffering? And what do we learn about compassionate communication? Hanuman chooses his words with supreme gentleness. He first praises Rama and gently reassures Sita that she is not forgotten. Compassion and patience are vital. Gurudev emphasizes sattvic communication, words that uplift. We learn not to rush to console with facts, but to deeply listen and respond from love. Practicing seva with empathy, like speaking kindly to those in distress, becomes a way of honoring Hanuman. Listening to wisdom satsangs and practicing silence or mauna regularly sharpens our ability to speak like Hanumana with a heartfelt purpose. What is the significance of Hanuman shrinking in size to meet Sita, and how does that relate to humility in spiritual practice? Yes, Hanuman, though mighty, becomes small, a symbol of humility. Approaching the divine feminine Shakti with reverence is central in our culture. Gurudev teaches that true strength lies in surrender. Ego has no place in divine work. Practicing Trikal Sandhya Vandan and helps cultivating this humility through daily prayer and inner tuning. When we perform Anjaneya Homa with the intent of service, we shed our pride and meet life's challenges like Hanumana with grace. Shrinking the ego is not weakness, it's divine alignment. How can modern seekers emotionally connect with Sita's pain and still draw hope from it? Sita's sorrow is deeply relatable: loss, isolation, fear, yet her unshaken devotion becomes her light. Gurudev reminds us Even in your darkest hour, remember the divine is closest. Sita's inner silence strength. Modern seekers often suffer mental distress, burnout, and emotional exhaustion. Sudarshan Kriya purifies these deeply seated stresses. When done after chanting Hanuman Chalisa, the combined vibrations transform sorrow into strength. Emotional connection with Sita brings empathy, practicing seva, and satsang opens us to collective healing, making her courage our own. Now, what rituals from the Vedic tradition help internalize this part of Sundarkanda? Chanting the Sundarkand on Tuesdays and Saturdays, especially the chapter of Sita Darshanam, while lighting a diya under a tree like the Simsapa, helps awaken Hanuman's blessings. Performing Anjaneya Home under guidance purifies collective karma, and offering Tulsi and Ashoka leaves in prayer symbolizes sorrow transforming to auspiciousness. Upanayam Samskara, when done, initiates one into daily chanting practices like Gayatri Japa, which refine our inner gaze to perceive the divine even in pain. These rituals are not superstition, they are ancient psycho spiritual techniques for transformation. Now, how can this scene inspire leadership and decision making in times of adversity? Hanuman doesn't rush to act, he observes, assesses, and responds. That's a leader grounded, mindful, and heartful. Gurudev teaches. Leadership is not about control, it's about connection. In stressful corporate or personal situations, the ability to pause like Hanumana, listen like him, and speak truth with compassion makes all the difference. Practices like Shakti Kriya increase intuition and clarity, helping leaders act with integrity. Reading the scene before key decisions strengthens conviction that Dharma will guide the way even in uncertain times. So, what is the ultimate takeaway from Hanuman's meeting with Sita for every spiritual aspirant? The meeting is not just a plot point, it's a profound awakening. When the divine seeker like Hanumana finds a sorrow stricken soul of Sita, hope is reborn. Gurudev says the soul longs to return to its source. This scene shows us that even in isolation and despair, divine grace is working silently through regular sadhana, seva, and satsang. We create the inner Lanka where grace can land. Participating in Hanuman Chalisa chanting, Agnikaram, and meditative silence bridges the distance between despair and deliverance. Jai Gurudev.